is being recorded by MCTV, and we may take the action items in a different order than they appear on the agenda. So, Michael, do you want to give us the town administrator report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I had my weekly PMA meeting to review issues regarding the police project and DPW project. We talked about moving in preparations for the police into the new building, underground utilities for DPW, septic system for DPW, and punch list for the police building. Had a meeting, FY22 budget review with Ann Bastille and Lisa Clark to review the trends, expenditures, and salary line items as we're winding down FY22. Had a dog park building committee meeting to review final plans and location on the parcel. Had a breakfast meeting with Chairman Darcy to review some issues of concern. We had a drive-through clinic here at Town Hall for vaccines, all vaccines, whatever people chose, and PCR testing. Police moved into their new headquarters on June 13th, and we're up and running. I had a meeting with Bill Grafton and Liz regarding the grant for digitizing records that they're working on for us. Meeting with Danielle Kerrigan and attorney Caitlin Morey on some conservation matters. Meeting with Sue Karen on a land issue. Meeting with Andrew Stewart on some outstanding building issues. Meeting with Danielle Kerrigan and Ann Bastille on some personnel issues. Meeting with the contractor and Fred Russell on a shower drainage issue at the new police station that they're remedying. Had a meeting on Levitate Festival. As folks know, Levitate's coming up August 8th, 9th, and 10th. Meeting with Bill Grafton and Fred Russell on cleanup of the Pratt Farm site that's been completed. Meeting with Craig Hannafin, Chair of the Conservation Commission, and Bill Grafton, the Conservation Administrator, to discuss some challenging cases and solutions. Had my weekly owner, architect, and contract meeting, better known as OAC, to discuss the police project and things that need to be accomplished, and also the demolition of the old police station. Meeting with Bill Grafton, and resident from 46 Preston Terrace, to deal with some conservation issues. Meeting with Bill Early regarding the study that he is paying for that will be done by the Commonwealth regarding the removal of the dam. We had the second part of the management training for our department heads and supervisors by Clifford and Kenny Law Firm. My weekly meeting with Fred Russell on maintenance projects for Town Hall, the schools, the GAR Hall, beaches, and the library. Meeting with Fred Russell on a Town Hall project schedule. This is a schedule for the replacement of the bathrooms, the updating and remodeling of the chamber and other offices. Had a Zoom meeting with the HVAC controller company regarding the police HVAC system. Had a budget meeting with Dan and Lisa to review final payrolls and expenditures and revenue numbers. Meeting with Dan and Lisa to prepare for S&P call on Tuesday, June 21st, with Standard & Poor's, which went very well. Meeting with Lynn Fiddler on some outstanding issues. Meeting with Bob Galvin to review some legal issues regarding the opiate settlement funds. Attended the Gay Pride event at the Rexicana. Attended the Boys and Girls Club annual meeting. Attended the Molly Fitzgerald Memorial Fund corporate sponsors dinner at Tim Tedeschi's, and walked in the Father's Day event. That was my town administrator's report.
Thank you, Michael. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not, thank you.
Lynn?
Nope.
Okay, and then just the COVID-19 testing clinic
Yes,
update?
Mr. Chairman, as to date, we have administered 1,251 vaccines and 120 PCR tests here at the Town Hall Clinic. On Saturday, 6/11, as I alluded to in my town administrator report, we had a special event here. We had a grant from the Commonwealth to do another drive-through. Did a drive-through here. We administered 46 vaccines and 5 PCR tests. We're averaging about 5 to 10 vaccine walk-ins daily and about 20 people per day that actually schedule their appointment.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I do not, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Lynn, any questions or comments?
No.
All right, awesome. So our first action item is a discussion and vote for an application for an annual peddler's license from Thomas Malloy, and he's just looking to do a food cart at South Shore Buds on July 23rd, and just from 9 to 5. Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not have anything on that, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything, Lynn?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Awesome. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the annual peddler's license for Thomas Malloy of Centerville, Massachusetts for the Barking Claw Cape Cod, a food cart at South Shore Buds on July 23rd, 2022 for the hours of 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so this will be a fun one for you to read, Lynn. So it's just
Happy to do it.
discussion of vote on the maximum useful life of departmental equipment. Before we just go into the motion portion, Lynn, your long reading list. Do you have
Okay.
any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I read it over. It just seems interesting. We're just setting useful life.
Awesome. Did you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
I do not.
All right.
Ready to read.
Fire away.
Okay. The board moves to approve the maximum useful life of the departmental equipment as presented and read by the clerk of the select board. Vote of the select board. I, the clerk of the select board of the town of Marshfield, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the board held on June 21st, 2022, of which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following vote was unanimously passed, all of which appears upon the official record of the board in my custody. Voted that the maximum useful life of the departmental equipment listed below to be financed with a portion of the proceeds of the $1,990,000 borrowing authorized by the vote of the town passed April 25th, 2022, also Article 4. Is hereby determined pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, 7-1, to be as follows. Purpose, Column 1, borrowing amount, Column 2, maximum useful life, Column 3. Electric pickup truck, $60,000, 5 years. Electric pickup truck, $60,000, 5 years. Phone system upgrade, system-wide, $80,000, 10 years. Multifunction activity, school bus system-wide, $70,000, 5 years. Annual cruiser purchase, $185,000, 5 years. Purchase carpenter's van, $65,000, 5 years. I further certify that the agenda for the meeting, a copy of which is attached hereto, was posted on the bulletin board of the town at least 24 hours before the meeting in compliance with Section 7-2 of the town charter. I further certify that the vote was taken at a meeting open to the public, that the vote was not taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above vote, was filed with the town clerk and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or, if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 2B, at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting, and remain so posted at the time of the meeting. That no deliberations or decisions in connection with the subject matter of this vote were taken in executive session, all in accordance with General Law, Chapter 30A, 18-25, as amended.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Lynn. I'll go ahead and second your motion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, perfect. So our third item is a discussion and vote on a request to declare items as surplus. We've got some books from the library that have been circulated since May of 2018, and they're donating a good number to the senior center, and then we just have some small tables and chairs and things of that nature. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, I do not.
All right, so I will.
Chairman, if I just could.
Sure.
So what we'll do is, with the furniture, just so people know that are watching, if there are no takers in town government for that furniture, if no one within, town government wants those, then what we can do, we can sell them. If they don't sell them, we can offer them to a nonprofit in town,
Perfect.
as long as they pick them up.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mike. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the request of the Library Director, Cindy Marcoux, to withdraw from the collection 435 large print books that have not circulated since May of 2018, with about 200 going to the Senior Center, and 72 books on CDs that have not circulated since May of 2018. The library would also like to surplus the following furniture: 25 wooden chairs with stained seats, 5 small tables, 2 large tables, and 1 large carrel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so next is just a discussion and vote for permission to accept a donation to the Recreation Department. So David York is kindly donating $100 on behalf of the Recreation Department, and the proceeds will be used to purchase pickleball equipment. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Just a quick comment. I think it's always great when people donate to the town. Pickleball seems to be really popular right
Yeah.
now. So I would like to thank David,
York.
York, for his donation.
Awesome. Yeah, pickleball's all the rage right now. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
I do not. I appreciate anything everybody does.
Awesome. So I'll make a motion to accept a $100 donation from David York on behalf of the Recreation Department. The proceeds will be used to purchase pickleball equipment. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then we also just want to thank Peter Lewin, who's also making a $400 donation to the Recreation Department, and this is for a bench that will be placed on Coast Guard Hill in his mother's honor, which is very nice. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Once again, the same thing. I think it's really nice for him to donate something like this with his mom's name on it.
Totally.
And it's a great place to do it.
Yeah.
It's a great location. So thank you once again, Peter.
Yeah, people could take in some beautiful sunsets there. Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, so I'll make a motion to accept a $400 donation from Peter Lewin on behalf of the Recreation Department for a bench that will be placed on Coast Guard Hill in his mother's honor. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
There you go, Peter.
Very nice. All right, next up is a discussion and vote on permission to accept a donation for our Veteran Services account. And David Hazel is donating $1,000 to assist our veterans and their families in time of need, which is very generous. Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Michael, with all these donations, will we be able to lower taxes soon?
No.
No?
Unfortunately,
that out there.
that's a good question, but these have been earmarked and they've given them to the various
Specific
specific
items.
reasons. That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. No, once again, fantastic. I love this, and you can't really pick a better cause than Veteran Services.
Yep, absolutely. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
Again, appreciative. Thank you.
Yep, so I'll make a motion to accept a donation on behalf of the Veteran Services Office in the amount of $1,000 from David Hazel to assist our veterans and their families in time of need. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next is a discussion and vote to waive a permitting fee for an Eagle Scout project. So for her Eagle Scout project, Alyssa Budd is going to be building a 100 square foot pergola and fire pit at the Boys and Girls Club, which I'm sure will be used quite a bit. So that's a great idea. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I just love the esprit de corps of the citizens of this town. I mean, Eagle Scouts is a really difficult thing to do, so it's fantastic. So no, I think it's just a great thing to do.
Yeah, Michael?
And it'll be great there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I may just, the one interesting thing is, so Troop 424 is a BSA troop. It is all young women.
Oh, cool.
And BSA made changes a few years ago. Before, women could only participate in the scouts in certain, they had venture scouts, which was boys or girls. Then they allowed women to participate in BSA because the women felt as though they weren't able to compete for Eagle. So Alyssa Budd is doing her Eagle project, and this is her project. She has to raise and manage the money and build the project.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be a great project.
Yeah.
At 15.
It's correct.
Way to go,
yeah.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, impressive. That's all.
Yeah.
Great.
Future leaders.
If it
Yes,
goes well,
exactly.
I'll invite her to my house to build a fire pit in my backyard.
We can all go because she's looking for people to help when they actually do
I'm sure.
construction.
Perfect.
So I'll keep the board updated.
That'd be great, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Michael. All right, so I'll make a motion to accept, to approve the request from the ZBA to waive the necessary permitting fee for this Eagle Scout project by Alyssa Budd of Troop 424. The project will include a 100 square foot pergola and fire pit at the Boys and Girls Club. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so people will be very excited for this next one. It's a discussion and vote on the application for a temporary entertainment license for the Levitate Music Festival. Usually, well, I would say every year it's happened, it's gone off without a hitch, so I don't have any issues. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I mean, everyone loves the Levitate Art and Music Festival, so thanks, Dan, for doing it again this year.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
I'm waiting for this event and excited that it'll be here again.
Perfect. Yeah. Happy to have it back for a second year in a row after a little lull there because of
Yeah.
COVID, so.
Yep.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve a temporary one-day entertainment license for 3 days, July 8th through July 10th, 2022, for Dan Hassett Levitate Music Festival, doing business as Levitate Music and Arts Festival at the Marshfield Fairgrounds for outdoor activities, with the hours of operation from noon to 10 p.m. for 30 live bands, art vendors, food trucks, and kids activity. There will be a tent and there will be food, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, the Board of Health, the Building Department, and the Marshfield Fire Department. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, next up is just something that's kind of, related, is discussion and vote on an application for a common vic license for Levitate Music Festival. And you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Just a quickie here, we have 26, so you're gonna have a lot of choices.
Yeah,
right?
yep, definitely.
So 30 bands, 26 places to go eat.
Yeah,
And so other than that, no, it's gonna be a great time.
perfect. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
Is this the last of the Vic licenses for this event?
I believe so, unless something comes in,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
It
these,
is.
unless somebody comes in, what they did is they did them all collectively when you look through the,
Okay,
so.
Perfect.
okay.
Awesome. And I don't need to read the full list of all 26, right, Michael?
Yeah, you need to just read them into the record once.
Okay, no problem. All right, so the following people have submitted applications and paid for common vic licenses for Levitate Musical Festival, and all of these individuals have received or are in the process of obtaining food handler permits from the Board of Health. This would be Alforno Ferruza Pizza, Asian Sensation, Binge Barbecue, Broccoli Bar, Cheese Louise, Chef's Table, Dips, Garbanzo Mediterranean Fresh, Ginger Love Cafe, Gonzalez Food Truck, Hummingbird Food and Juice Truck, Just Egg, Keen's Wood Fired, Matilda, Mize / Lumpia Brothers, Miso Hungry Ramen, Mr. Tuna, Rexicana Surf Cantina, Sausage Guy, Sings Roadie, Slack Tide Coffee, The Beatbox, The Filling Station LLC, The Lemon Press, Tika's Tacos LLC, and Umami Bites Foods. So I'll just go ahead and make a motion to approve the common vic licenses for Levitate Music Festival that will take place on July 8th through July 10th, 2022, with hours of operation from 12:30 till 9:30 p.m. for the 26 businesses just read into the record, pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes and utility fees to be paid if they are a Marshfield business. All the businesses are in the process of obtaining their food handler permits from the Board of Health. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up, we have number 9, which is discussion and vote on an application for a temporary wine and malt license from the Agricultural and Horticultural Society, also related to Levitate. So do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve a one-day liquor license for Carlton Chandler, the Marshfield Agricultural and Horticultural Society, for July 8th through July 10th, 2022, with hours of operation from noon until 10 p.m., all 3 days, at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, located at 140 Main Street for Levitate Music Festival. Liquor license, liquor liability insurance certificate is on file. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so Michael, this one's kind of new and interesting. Do you want to give us kind of the breakdown on the appointment of a sealer
Yes.
of weights and measures?
So, weights and measures, we were notified by the Commonwealth for years. The Commonwealth's been the provider of being the weights and sailor person. For someone that's tuning in and wasn't quite sure what a weights and sailor person does, they are the person, if you go to a supermarket or a gas station, you're looking at the pump, has that little seal of approval. They go and annually do an inspection to make sure that you're getting, if you're buying a gallon of gas, you get a gallon of gas. If you're buying a pound of ham, you're getting a pound of ham. So we had to go out and select our own person. Mr. Egan does surrounding communities, Cohasset, Situate, and some other towns. Comes highly recommended, so he's going to take over. We have to have someone in place by July 1.
All right, thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments,
No, he
Jim?
seems very qualified. He also now serves for Situate Cohasset, so.
Yeah. Especially right now, you want to make sure we're getting every last drop of gas.
Absolutely. And if people are interested, the original measures of weights and sailors
Yeah.
are located up on the second floor to the right of Conservation. They're in a display case, and every city and town in the Commonwealth got that like 100 years ago.
That's really cool. Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, it is. It's interesting.
All right, awesome. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve Bob Egan Bob Egan as the Town of Marshfield Sealer of Weights and Measures for an annual stipend of $5,000, pending a background check by the Marshfield Police Department. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so next up, kind of 11, 12, and 13 kind of delve into new appointments and as well as reappointments. So before we kind of dive into the motions, did you have any questions or comments you wanted to make, Jim, before we proceed? Or did you want these broken up at all?
Yeah, maybe broken up. I'd like a point of privilege if I could, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, what would that be?
Yeah, so it's come to my attention that some people, looking at the agenda, multiple individuals were informed, asked why Dr. Arthur Legge was not up for reappointment and not on the agenda. These individuals were told, after serving for over half a decade, that the board wants to go in a different direction. Well, page 2, section 4, titled Authority and Role of the Select Board, in paragraph 3, of the ratified Marshfield Select Board Policy and Procedure Manual, it says, and I quote, "No actions representing the board shall be taken by a board member or members of the board without prior consent of the majority of the board." So I don't believe we've had a majority board discussion. We certainly have a majority board vote. So no vote was taken, so I think it's very important that individual members of any board or commission do not let their personal thoughts or views on how the board should vote or the direction the board should be going state that that is the view of the board when the board is not voted on. So that was just a point of order I'd like to make. Moving forward, I think that's important to note.
Sure. Did you have anything else you wanted to kind of dive into, or a particular item you'd like to kind of do in a different separate motion instead of all
I
together?
appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I struggle a little with this on a couple of different levels, and I kind of wrote it out because I think it's important, and I'd like it if we could put this verbatim in the record, and I can provide a copy thereof, so you don't have to do this, Bev. Okay? My pleasure. Page 3, section 6, titled Duties, Responsibilities, and Obligation of the Select Board of a ratified Marshfield Select Board Policy and Procedure Manual, state, and I quote, "In all appointments, to avoid patronage and by judging all candidates on merit, experience, and qualification only." So it's very important that we vet the people that are on our boards and commissions. Regarding Dr. Arthur Legge's particularly not even appearing for the potential discussion of reappointment, gaining competency of federal, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, including Marshfield Chapter 294 and the 505 Wetlands Protection Regulations, and the Conservation Commission's 67-page Policy and Procedure Manual, is a significant multi-year undertaking. It takes years to be competent with environmental regulations. It's a daunting process. Dr. Arthur Legge is a respected member of the Conservation Commission, and he's gained knowledge and competency with over half a decade of experience. He has been a member of thousands of hearings, hundreds of which he was the actual hearing officer in charge of those specific hearings. Dr. Legge has just concluded and was entrusted as the hearing officer of a multi-year effort for recertification of the Marshfield Airport environmental impact. This included threatened and endangered species, wildlife and turtle fencing, compliance with FAA mandated approach envelopes, removal of environmentally unsafe underground fuel storage with alarmed double-walled moated above-ground facility. And this was all done in coordination with Shoreline Aviation while keeping a significant resource of this town, from an economic perspective, open and running. It was a huge accomplishment. It was years of work, and he did a fantastic job. And he did this while he was still serving as chairman for other issues and appearing every month. I believe that Dr. Legge's qualifications and experience for reappointment is unquestioned, and I do not understand why he is not being considered and automatically reappointed. And this is demonstrated by his leadership overall, but also significantly being entrusted by this town to lead the airport project. The airport project is hugely important. I'd also like to, if I may, enter the record a note by the vice chair of the Conservation Commission, who has worked with Dr. Arthur Legge for years, and this is to the Board of Selectmen, Town of Marshfield, to the Board. This is from Bert O'Donnell, Vice Chair. As a member of the Conservation Commission and Vice Chair of the Conservation Commission, I was surprised and disappointed to learn that Arthur Legge was informed he will not be reappointed to the Commission. I have served with Arthur on this Concom since 2016 and know him to be a highly valued member of this group. His professional knowledge as a veterinarian, along with his active volunteer work in the area of land preservation, make him well qualified to serve on the Commission. I find his deliberations and decisions on Concom matters to be informed, fair, and reasonable. He always maintains a professional demeanor and treats everyone with respect. I cannot understand the reason for this action. In the current times, when many town boards and commissions are understaffed, we are fortunate for people like Dr. Legge that are willing to participate. I urge the Select Board to reconsider this decision. Vice Chairman, Marshfield Conservation Commission, Bert O'Donnell. Before I move on and make a motion on this particular matter, is there anyone in the public that may want to speak as well?
Jim, we're going to keep it to the select board members because it's not a public hearing, so we're not going to.
That's fine. That
derail
is
anymore.
the chair's
gist.
prerogative. That's the chair's prerogative. I just like to, if people from the public do come in, I always like to give the public a chance to speak rather than shutting off the public. But that's fine. Dr. Legge's qualifications, as I say again, are unquestioned. So based on the previous mentioned material of a ratified select board policy of the procedure manual, section 4, section 6, I'm making a motion of consideration and a motion of suspension for further consideration, and thereby appealing the chair's unilateral decision to the assembly for failure to consider reappointment, and specifically amend the motion that Dr. Legge be placed on this evening's agenda for reappointment consideration with the other candidates. This is not a vote necessarily for Arthur. This is that he deserves, given all he's done for this town, at least for a discussion and not just summarily dismissed and not even being able to be discussed for reappointment. So that motion is that we would have at least consider Dr. Legge for reappointment, and I'd look for a second for that, please.
All right, hearing none, the motion does not carry. Okay. Linda, did you have any questions or comments?
I would like to have the purview of looking at section 4 and section 6.
Sure. I have them right here.
Did you want to weigh in, Michael, while we do that?
So the chairman has the prerogative to set the agenda, who goes on the agenda. We did have a motion, Mr. Kilcoyne brought forward a name that wasn't on the agenda. If it was the board's wish to advance that, they could have. There wasn't a second, so that's not advanced.
It's kind of dead.
It's dead, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So, I mean, I can show it to you, but
I don't need
it's
to
killed
see
by
it at
not-
this moment, but I'd like to have.
Yeah, by not having a second, it is killed.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I very much appreciate the time offered.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Sure. Anything else, Lynn?
No, I appreciate the candidacy of what you had to say, and I appreciate the work that every volunteer does, but I think this is for the chairman to move forward with his decision on this.
Thank you.
On this agenda item.
All right, so we'll go into item number 11. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to appoint the following new members to the Conservation Commission: David Good,
I would like to make a
Kenneth
point of privilege,
Dodge,
Mr. Chairman.
and John O'Donnell. Hold on, Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
I would like to make a point of privilege, Mr. Chairman, before the vote.
What is
I'm
that?
sorry, I couldn't hear you, Jim.
I would like to make a point of privilege prior to the vote, please.
What's that?
Once again, I printed this out.
All right, Jim, we're just going to move forward with the vote.
Chairman, no, Mr. Chairman,
it's my
I-
prerogative. I gave you a point of privilege earlier, and we're moving forward. We're not going to derail the meeting. It's
There's no derailing the
It's
meeting.
noted what your feelings are, Jim, and you're welcome to vote yay or nay. But we're not going to derail the meeting for another diatribe. And I'm not acknowledging your point of privilege. I'm moving forward. All right, all those in favor?
I would
Aye.
like it,
Aye.
All those
like it
opposed?
duly noted that the chair has denied a point of privilege, which is customary and normal to all members of the select board. It's very, very abnormal to not be able to listen to a peer and shut down a peer. You are the chair. You have the, I believe.
Yes, I do, Jim, and we're moving forward, okay?
believe you
It is
have-
my prerogative.
I
We're moving
believe
forward. We're
you
not
have
derailing the
that,
meeting
Mr.
any further.
I believe you have.
All right,
that,
item number 12, discussion and vote on new appointment to the Community Preservation Committee, Stephen Merrick and Michael Devlin. I'm going to make a motion to appoint them to the the Community Preservation Committee, Stephen Merrick and Michael Devlin. Is there a second?
I have a second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
All right, so 3-0,
No, it's 2.
2-1? Okay, so you're voting nay. All right,
Because
so
it's a
number
it's a process
13
vote.
is discussion and vote on annual reappointments. All right, so these are the individuals on ADA, are Helen Bennett and Amy Krasuski. Amy Krasuski, Advisory Board, Carlos Pena. Agricultural Commission, Kayleen Alexanderson and Kristen Webb. Capital Budget Committee, Jack Griffin. Community Preservation Committee, Michelle Campione. Conservation Commission, Craig Hannafin. Council on Aging, Janice Fletcher and Bill Scott. Energy Committee, Matthew Parent and Bill Botigi. Historical Commission, Jack Aruka, Kathy Sullivan, and Cindy Castro. Open Space Committee, Chris Siacha. Recreation Commission, Dennis Kelleher and Brian Robinson. Recreation Trails Committee, Ned Baines. Trustees of Ventures Memorial Library, Greg Emond and Michelle Noonan. And then to the Waterways Committee, Michael Dwayne and Bill Kerrigan. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to reappoint those individuals to the following committees as I just read them. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right. Item number 14 is accepting the meeting minutes from June 6th, 2022. Any questions or comments, Jim?
None, sir.
Questions or comments, Lynn?
No, sir.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for the June 6th, 2022 meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we're going to go into executive session to discuss a land acquisition that I've discussed in open session could have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town. So I'm going to go ahead and make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Mr. Chairman, a roll call is required. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session, not to return to public session. We'll go into my office for executive session.